Hey everybody, it's Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos here. Yeah, Wayne's World, Wayne's World. Um, you know, it's been a while since I've made a lesson. Gosh, I must have done about 15 charts. So it's all about the blues, and we're looking at chart 566 now. Root Master Blues, Root Key of the Blues, Blues Magic Key, Blues Pent Key, and Root Mixolydian Blues. Okay, so those are the three keys, but they're all part of the Blues Magic diatonic key. Its fourth is the Blues Pent key. Its fifth is the Root Mixolydian Blues key. Okay, and these three sub keys here are relative to the root key of the blues. So the root key of the blues, okay, so I don't go off playing up here. And by the way, I want to show you the charts because I know the charts are hard to see on Facebook. If you like these videos, like, subscribe, tell your friends about Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the instructions below to access Andy's Free Guitar Chart videos on Facebook, where the charts are posted in fairly good resolution, but not as good as here. So what I want to do is zoom in on the big chart today. What this chart has, it's chart 566. Of course, we have everything up here. And in the last lesson, we were kind of limited to what we have up here. You got the root key of the blues. The blues note in the root key of the blues is between the 4 and the 5. So if we have a C7 here, the blues note is between the 4 and the 5. Okay? It's interesting when you hear this, you know. Okay, that's really just doing the little blues notes. In the Blues Magic diatonic key, the blues notes between the 5 and the 6 string shape. In the Blues Master Pent key, the blues notes on the D string shape, so it's between the 2 and the 3. Now why that is because if we have C7 here, okay, and then we're going to go F7 to G7, alright, the blues magic key is going to be B flat, so the relative to that, because it gives us those two free blues notes, the B flat and the E flat. So relative to the root key of the blues, now the blues note, instead of falling between 4 and 5, falls between 5 and 6 with the Blues Magic diatonic key. Okay, now with the Blues Pent key is the fourth of that, starts on E flat, but we play it only pentatonically. The Blues Magic diatonic keys played diatonically, and of course the root Mixolydian blues keys played diatonically, and that is actually, its blues note is between root and 2. Why is that? Because F is the fifth, is the root master, the RMBK for the Blues Magic key in B flat. So that same blues note occurs between the root and the 2. So right there, those three. So let's skip to the chase here. I think the wife could be even home already, and we'll have to continue the lesson later. This is the most important part of this lesson right here. To adjust from the root key, okay, So if you could get a little screensaver of this, you know, you'd have everything, but you have to know how to use it, and that's why I make the videos. Okay, so we got a little extra time. I want to explain that we're going to be dealing with the open region here. Now I'm down C tuned here, so as you know, my E is a what? If I'm down C tuned, what is my E shape? That's right, it's C. It's an E-shaped C. So we're going to be dealing with the open box and the next cage up. But these are going to be after we do the blues adjustment. So in regular root key of the blues, the next cage up from E would be what? C, A, G, E, D. E goes to D. So it would be up here. Okay? Now, that's in the root key of the blues. And we do a little half shape for the C. If we go to the next cage up from that C, we go to the A here. Alright? That's in root key of the blues. But we're going to be doing a transformation, the blues transformation. The name of this lesson, it should be Blues Transformations. So we've got our open blues cage and we have the next cage up. You see, I made all of this fit back into the cage system, into the pent cage system. So when I talk about a shadow, it's not just magic anymore, although it is. And we're going to talk about that. So we've got the next cage up, but keep in mind, this is after the blues transformation. It's not in the root key of the blues. Also remember, for the blues note, you want to hit that blues note properly. Only the blues master pent key is played pentatonic. I found that out today. I couldn't believe it. I thought, hey, anything you can play diatonically, you can play pentatonically, right? It didn't work out that way. I have a strong suspicion that it's very important not to play the blues magic diatonic key pentatonically. I found it didn't sound good and the blues note didn't come out where it should be. So we have here's the blues note for the blues magic diatonic key. Okay, and here's the blues note for the blues master pent key. Is between 2, 3. Okay, so you play it pentatonically, you know, you're going to be off one. Now remember one thing though, this is for the root pattern. Now the blues transformation key, which is the blues magic key, and even the blues pent key, and the mixolydian key, all have a 1, 4, 5. So whenever you go to the 4, you move that blues note up a string. Whenever you go to the 5th, you move that blues note down a string. So that's important. Important you get this diagram here. It's very important. These are where the blues notes are for these keys. So the blues note for the root key of the blues is 5 flat. Okay? 5 flat. Okay, the blues note for the blues master pent key is 2 flat because the blues master pent key is this. It starts on E flat. So we got, and then we have root 2, 3 flat for the blues pent key. Same thing works for the other two as we explained. So let's not harp on that. We have to move along because the wife's going to be home. Now it's a good idea to have a good plus or minus, I call it a plus or minus pent circle. Okay, so it's a good idea to have a nice little cage circle. C, A, G, E, D. Going this way, it's pent scale. C, D, A, G, A. Going this way, it's C, A, G, E, D. And these are the shapes. They're the shapes of the bottom string. They're the shapes of the whole chords. Okay, they're the shapes of the pentatonic scales. It's the pentatonic and the diatonic scales that we're going to be interested in. For instance, today, if I play a C-shaped A flat here, okay, the pentatonic is 3, 5, 6 root 2, 3, 5, 6 root 2, 3, 5. But the diatonics 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the difference between a pentatonic and a diatonic. Remember, pentatonically, 6 root 2, 3 in the pentatonic key, but diatonically